Today, I want to talk about something we all face but rarely embrace, the pain of growth. The journey from comfort to greatness is not a smooth path. It's a road filled with discomfort, doubt, and discipline. Yet it's the only road that leads to who we're truly meant to become. Comfort feels safe but stagnant. It is the invisible boundary that separates who we are from who we could become. In our comfort zone, everything feels familiar, predictable, and easy to manage. We know what to expect, we know how to handle it, and because of that, we rarely feel fear or uncertainty. The comfort zone gives us a sense of control, a feeling that we are secure and stable. It's like living inside a bubble, warm, cozy, and free from risk. But what most people fail to realize is that the same bubble that protects us also limits us. It prevents us from seeing the world beyond what we already know. We tend to mistake comfort for happiness, but they are not the same. Comfort gives temporary satisfaction. Happiness often comes from growth, achievement, and progress. Staying in a place that feels safe can slowly turn into a trap. Days start blending together, and before we know it, we stop chasing new experiences or challenges. We tell ourselves that we're content, but deep down, there's a quiet voice whispering that we were made for more. That voice fades the longer we ignore it, and eventually comfort becomes confinement. We might not feel pain, but we stop feeling excitement too. Human beings are wired to seek growth. From learning to walk as children to facing new challenges as adults, every stage of life demands that we stretch beyond what we know. Yet, as we grow older, we start to avoid discomfort. We fear failure, rejection, and change. We cling to what's familiar because it feels safe. But safety and stagnation often walk hand in hand. When we stop taking risks, we stop learning. When we stop learning, we stop growing. When we stop growing, we stop truly living. The comfort zone is deceptive because it disguises itself as peace. It tells us that everything is fine, that there's no need to push further. But while we sit in comfort, the world around us moves on. Opportunities pass, time slips away, and others who dare to take risks move ahead. Comfort has a hidden cost, the loss of potential. You don't see the price you're paying immediately, but one day you wake up realizing that you've been living the same year over and over again, mistaking routine for progress. Every great success story begins with someone who chose to leave their comfort zone. Athletes push their bodies beyond exhaustion to reach excellence. Artists expose their work to criticism to express their truth. Innovators risk failure and ridicule to bring new ideas to life. None of them found greatness within comfort. They faced fear, uncertainty, and discomfort, but they moved forward anyway. The difference between those who grow and those who remain the same lies in their willingness to be uncomfortable. Comfort feels safe, but it also dulls ambition. It whispers that good enough is enough when in reality it's not. It convinces us that taking no risk means avoiding pain. But the truth is, avoiding growth is its own kind of pain. A quiet, creeping emptiness that comes from knowing we could have been more. The comfort zone might shield us from failure, but it also blocks us from greatness. Growth demands that we step into discomfort, that we challenge what feels easy, and that we trust in our ability to adapt and overcome. Because while comfort gives us rest, it is only outside of it that we find purpose, strength, and transformation. Growth begins where comfort ends. The moment we step beyond what feels familiar, we begin to discover what we are truly capable of. Comfort, while pleasant, is a space of repetition, a loop where nothing new happens and nothing new is learned. Growth, on the other hand, thrives in uncertainty. It begins in that uneasy place where we feel unprepared, unsure, and afraid. It's the point where we no longer rely on routine, but must instead rely on resilience, courage, and curiosity. The edge of the comfort zone is where transformation starts. When we choose to stay comfortable, we avoid risk. And when we avoid risk, we avoid progress. Every new skill, achievement, or level of success comes from facing something we don't yet know how to handle. It's easy to want change without discomfort, but the two are inseparable. Growth demands discomfort because it forces us to adapt, to learn, and to evolve. Like a muscle that strengthens only through resistance, our character, mindset, and abilities grow only when they are stretched beyond what's easy. Think about the first time someone learns to swim, speak a new language, or start a new job. At first, it's awkward and intimidating. There's confusion, mistakes, even embarrassment. Yet, it's through these moments that we start to improve. Every small step into the unknown, no matter how uncomfortable, expands our capacity for more. Eventually, what once felt difficult becomes natural, and what once seemed impossible becomes achievable. This is the magic of growth. It turns fear into familiarity and struggle into strength. But many people never experience this transformation because they turn back at the first sign of discomfort. The moment they feel uncertain, they retreat to safety. They convince themselves that they're not ready or that it's not the right time. The truth, however, is that no one ever feels completely ready. Readiness is built through doing, through failing, through trying again. Growth is not waiting for confidence, it's moving forward even without it. Confidence is the reward that comes after the discomfort, not before it. Every great achievement in life exists on the other side of fear. The person who starts a business, the athlete who breaks a record, the student who dares to dream bigger. They all have one thing in common: they chose to step beyond what felt safe. They faced uncertainty and pushed through it. Growth doesn't happen in straight lines. It's messy, unpredictable, and often painful. But that pain is proof that progress is happening. It's the friction of change reshaping who we are. The end of comfort is where discovery begins. It's where we find our hidden potential, where we realize that our limits were only illusions. Each time we step beyond the boundaries of what we know, we uncover new parts of ourselves, strengths we didn't know existed, talents we didn't know we had, and confidence we didn't know we could feel. Growth is not about becoming someone new, but about becoming more of who we already are. It's easy to admire success from a distance, but behind every success story is a series of uncomfortable decisions. The decision to keep going when quitting seems easier. The decision to face rejection rather than hide from it. The decision to fail publicly and try again privately. These moments, though uncomfortable, shape greatness. The end of comfort is the beginning of character. When we stop running from discomfort and start embracing it, we stop living small. Growth begins where comfort ends, and it is in that unfamiliar space, full of challenge and uncertainty, that we begin to rise, evolve, and truly live. Pain is the price of progress. It is the silent teacher that accompanies every journey of growth, the invisible toll we pay for becoming stronger, wiser, and better than we were before. There is no advancement without struggle, no transformation without discomfort. The truth that most people avoid is simple yet powerful. Progress always demands sacrifice. Whether it's time, effort, sleep, comfort, or even pride, something must be given up for something greater to be gained. The process is not easy, but it is necessary because pain refines us in ways comfort never could. Every meaningful accomplishment in life comes with its own share of pain. Think of an athlete pushing through exhaustion during training, a student staying up late to master a difficult subject, or an artist facing rejection after rejection before finally being recognized. None of these journeys are smooth. They are marked by frustration, fatigue, and moments of doubt. But through each challenge, growth is quietly taking place. Pain strips away our illusions of ease and teaches us the value of persistence. It shows us that nothing worth having comes without effort, and that resilience is built one struggle at a time. Pain also has a way of revealing who we truly are. When everything is easy, we never really see our strength. It's only when life tests us that we discover the depth of our determination. Challenges force us to confront our fears, question our limits, and decide whether we truly want what we're working for. In that process, pain becomes a mirror. It reflects our weaknesses, but it also shows us our potential. The moments that hurt the most often carry the most valuable lessons. They teach patience, humility, and discipline. People often try to avoid pain at all costs, believing that happiness means living without hardship. But in doing so, they also avoid progress. A life without challenge may seem peaceful, but it is also stagnant. Growth requires friction, and friction always creates heat. The pain we feel in the pursuit of progress is not punishment. It's proof that we are stretching beyond our limits. It's the feeling of transformation, of becoming something more. Pain reminds us that change is happening, even when the results are not yet visible. The truth is, the road to progress is never straight or smooth. There will be setbacks, failures, and moments of deep frustration. There will be times when quitting feels easier than continuing. But those who learn to see pain not as a barrier but as a bridge, those are the ones who rise above. Every failure carries within it the seeds of understanding. Every hardship shapes resilience. The pain you endure in pursuit of your goals becomes the foundation of your strength. When you look back on your journey, you'll realize that the painful moments were not obstacles, but stepping stones. The sleepless nights, the sacrifices, the disappointments, they were all shaping you, preparing you, and refining you. Pain is the process that transforms potential into power. It tests your commitment and strengthens your character. Without it, success would have no meaning, and progress would have no depth. Pain is not the enemy of growth, it is the proof of it. It is the price every dreamer must pay to turn vision into reality. The mind is the battleground where every victory and defeat begins. Long before any challenge is faced in the world, it is first fought within our thoughts. Our minds are powerful. They can push us forward toward greatness or hold us captive in fear and self-doubt. Every decision we make, every step we take, starts as a thought. What we believe about ourselves determines how far we go, and what we fear often dictates what we avoid. The greatest enemy to progress is not the world around us, it's the inner voice that whispers we can't. Within the mind lies both potential and paralysis. One moment it inspires courage, and the next it plants seeds of doubt. It tells us we can, and then it reminds us of every reason we might fail. That constant tug of war is what makes the mind a true battleground. We fight against fear, insecurity, laziness, and negativity, forces that, though invisible, have the power to control the direction of our lives. Many people lose the battle before they even start because they allow those inner voices to dictate their reality. They give power to fear instead of faith, to hesitation instead of action. To grow, we must learn to master the mind rather than be mastered by it. Thoughts shape emotions, emotions drive actions, and actions create outcomes. If the mind is filled with defeat, the body follows. If the mind is filled with determination, the body finds strength it didn't know it had. The mind doesn't just react to reality, it creates it. That's why those who achieve greatness often speak of mental strength as the foundation of success. They understand that before they can win in the world, they must first win within. The mind has an extraordinary ability to magnify fear. It can take a small obstacle and make it seem like an impossible mountain. It convinces us that we are not ready, not talented enough, not worthy. But those are illusions created by uncertainty. Growth demands that we confront these mental barriers head on. Every time we challenge a limiting belief, we weaken its hold on us. Every time we take action in the face of fear, we train the mind to serve us rather than sabotage us. Mental strength is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to move forward despite it. This inner battleground is also where persistence is born. When everything around us says to stop, it's the mind that decides whether we keep going. Those who succeed don't have fewer doubts. They simply refuse to let those doubts decide their destiny. They learn to silence the noise of negativity and replace it with determination. They turn self-doubt into self-discipline. And through this constant mental resistance, they grow tougher, sharper, and more focused. The mind can be your greatest weapon or your heaviest chain. It can create excuses or solutions, walls or bridges, limitations or possibilities. The difference lies in how you train it. Just as the body becomes stronger through exercise, the mind becomes stronger through challenge. When you face discomfort, fear, or failure and choose to push forward anyway, you strengthen your mental resilience. Over time, the battles that once seemed impossible become manageable, and the fears that once controlled you lose their power. The mind is where greatness begins, but it's also where it can end if you surrender to doubt. Winning this battle is not about silencing every negative thought, but about choosing which thoughts deserve your energy. In the end, the greatest victories in life come to those who learn to master their minds. Because once the mind is conquered, everything else follows. Greatness is earned, not given. It is the result of relentless effort, unwavering focus, and the willingness to endure what others will not. No one wakes up great. Greatness is crafted through struggle, failure, and persistence. It is the product of discipline when motivation fades, of consistency when no one is watching, and of courage when the path ahead is uncertain. The truth is, the world does not reward wishful thinking, it rewards hard work. Those who achieve greatness understand that success is not found, it is forged. In every field, from sports to art, from science to leadership, greatness has always been the reward for those who dedicate themselves fully to their purpose. The stories of the most accomplished people share a common thread: perseverance in the face of adversity. They were not born extraordinary, they became extraordinary through practice, repetition, and the refusal to quit. Each failure became a lesson, each setback a stepping stone. They understood that greatness demands patience, that excellence takes time, and that mastery is not achieved overnight. What separates the dreamers from the achievers is not talent but effort, the willingness to keep going when things get hard. The path to greatness is never glamorous in the beginning. It is often lonely, filled with self-doubt, and marked by countless hours of unseen effort. While others sleep, the great ones train. While others complain, they improve. They sacrifice short-term comfort for long-term success. They understand that comfort and greatness cannot coexist. Every success story hides years of discipline and quiet endurance. What looks like natural talent from the outside is often the result of thousands of hours of preparation. Greatness demands persistence even when results are invisible, even when the world doubts your potential. Earning greatness also requires integrity and humility. It means being honest with yourself about your weaknesses and being willing to confront them. It means learning from mistakes rather than hiding from them. Greatness is not about being perfect, it is about being committed to continuous improvement. Those who are truly great are never satisfied with yesterday's success. They know that each new level of achievement brings new challenges and new responsibilities. They remain students of their craft, always seeking to grow, always striving to become better than they were yesterday. There is a powerful sense of fulfillment that comes from earning what you achieve. When greatness is earned, it carries meaning. It is not shallow or fleeting because it was built through effort and endurance. It represents every obstacle overcome, every fear faced, and every doubt silenced. It cannot be taken away because it is rooted in character, not circumstance. Those who have earned greatness understand the value of discipline, the importance of patience, and the necessity of struggle. The idea that greatness can be given is an illusion. Wealth, opportunity, or recognition might open doors, but only hard work can keep them open. True greatness is not about status or fame. It is about the person you become in the process of pursuing your purpose. It is built through decisions. The decision to keep going when it's hard, to act when it's uncomfortable, and to rise every time you fall. Greatness is not something to be handed out. It is something to be claimed through resilience, consistency, and faith in one's potential. It belongs to those who dare to dream, work relentlessly, and refuse to settle for less than their best.